Welcome to the Daily Crew episode 45. I am Tyler Douthit. Joining me normally on my right is Amanda. On my left is Ben, hopefully not washing away, just a floating head there.
Yeah,
I think it's a different green enough.
Yeah.
It probably will look alright.
We'll see.
I missed a couple days. We were out of town on some business stuff, but on the way back, I managed to catch up on two things I've been meaning to do for a long time. One, I finally watched Step Brothers, because you had a reference in the name about activity, like, what is the reference?
Yeah.
And then I told Caleb, like, look, you have to watch that. And also watched The Big Short. I've been meaning to watch that for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I remember that movie.
Big Short.
Big Short?
Yeah.
Is that the one with like Danny DeVito? Wait.
No, it's got Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell
Oh okay.
and Christian Bale, and it's kind of like the what led up to and like the traders that saw a lot of the housing crisis coming and their interaction with each other and the banks and the whole stuff, and it's a kind of a dark comedy vibe like Adam McKay, so like
Yeah.
I think one of his first more serious type movies, I think.
Okay.
But and Step Brothers was as ridiculous as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So funny though,
It
right?
really is
funny.
funny.
You know, I saw that in theaters with my wife. Like,
Yeah.
We were not very many people were there to see it, and me and her were the only ones laughing.
Really?
We were the
What?
only ones. Nobody else was laughing.
What's wrong with
It
people?
was
Right.
so. I don't know, but I mean, I guess that humor is just not for everyone. Not everybody likes that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
there's not many people I meet. They say that like Anchorman is overrated and stuff like that. And I'm like, I love Anchorman.
So funny.
Granted, I had to watch Anchorman because Anchorman kind of for me was like a groundbreaker with that kind of comedy with Will Ferrell first. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to watch Anchorman twice.
Me
to
too.
really find it funny.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first time I was
Mhm.
like, what? I don't understand the humor. Second time around, okay, I was like, okay, now I get what they're trying to do. I see what's going on. I understood it. It was funnier.
Anchorman, that was maybe 2004-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first ones where they do like 25 takes of every line
Yeah.
and just like piece together like the super cut of all the best jokes all lined up in a row.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is not meant to be serious. This is just meant to just make fun of and just be goofy. That's what
Yeah.
it's meant to be.
I didn't like it the first time either, and then like it just grew on me as time went by.
Weird.
Yeah.
We all had to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because it's just one of those. I think that's how fresh it was at the time. We were not accustomed to that kind of comedy at the time.
Yeah.
And then finally we watched it a couple times, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people like that only watched it once, and they're just like, nope, I
I
didn't
watched
like
it with my boyfriend at the time, and he thought it was so funny, and I was
it.
like, stupid.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I loved Talladega Nights. All those movies now are just like. And it's
Yeah.
funny how like there's so many of like lines from those movies.
Yeah, there is.
That
So
people
many.
use every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it holds up.
It does.
Especially Step Brothers. Like Step Brothers, like you reference it. You know.
So much room for activities.
So much more room for activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah! Mom, Dad! Yeah.
So which movie did you like more? Did you like Step Brothers or the other one?
Well, extremely different. I've been meaning to watch. I've been like actively trying to find a way without paying for like an extra movie to watch The Big Short for a while because it's never on the right streaming service at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But like with the airline, it was one of those like free things you can watch on the plane. So then I finally did. So probably enjoyed that more only because I've been trying to watch it for a while.
Yeah.
But they're so very different.
Yeah.
But Step Brothers, I'll probably enjoy that a second time more than I would enjoy the other one a second time.
Yeah. Yeah. That Step Brothers is like one of those movies where every time you watch it, something new.
Yeah.
You didn't notice before. That's why it's so great.
That's pretty good. So what's first on our list stuff for today?
Okay, so the first one is, what would be the worst natural disaster like that you can think of? Like, what would be the absolute worst like scenario, disaster?
It'd be like a world-ending comet asteroid type thing
Yeah.
that just destroys life on the entire planet.
Yeah.
Or
It's
like
hard
a-
to imagine much worse than that.
Right.
Like a new Pangea happens.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
stuff just starts separating, and like oceans are coming through.
Yeah, and I
like,
can imagine like a sinkhole, like a giant sinkhole, just starting to form in the middle of the mainland, and then everybody's
just cracks.
everyone just kind of falling in that sinkhole.
Remember was that Hadron Collider. You guys heard of that?
What is it?
It was, I think it's called the Hadron Collider. It was something to like prove some advanced physics thing about some certain particle exists, and you have to like do like all this energy and like super fast and all this to prove this thing.
Mhm.
And there were people that were critics of that said like if this worked, it's gonna like destroy the entire planet, kind of thing, like a supervillain kind of thing. Like we'll create this particle and just destroy everything, and that never happened, obviously. But that sounds pretty bad too.
Yeah, there are things that we don't need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like AI.
Yeah.
There's so many movies about it.
Yeah, I watched a simulation or something like that. Like, what would happen if they just dropped an atomic bomb in the ocean or something like that?
Mhm.
And it was crazy. I mean, it was huge, and it wouldn't stop. It just kept getting bigger and bigger until it filled up the whole screen. You know, we couldn't see anymore after that. But this is crazy.
Do you think that AI is going to be like the Terminator, like become self-aware, it destroys humanity, or like the Matrix, same idea,
I think it's possible.
enslave humanity?
I think it's possible. I mean, don't they program AI to kind of be closer to human nowadays? Like, at least it seems like it.
They do. I wonder like how close any of that really is, because like there is AI stuff out there, but if you've ever used like autocorrect on your phone, you realize they're pretty bad at making guesses on things.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not like it knows what you're thinking.
No.
Like, you're like one letter off and it suggests some of the word and you're like,
Some
how?
ridiculous word. Yes.
Why couldn't you just give me the word I'm looking
How does
for?
this make any sense at all? It's not even a word people use,
Yeah.
let alone in that sentence or me.
The first thing I think of when I think of like robots and AI, have you seen Black Mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Where they put that robotic dog and they put a shotgun, they attach a
And
shotgun.
like takes over and like patrols everything.
Yeah, and it's just like it has something happens where it no longer has an owner or commander
And
or
they never
something,
really explain it.
or something that programs it. It's just rogue now because I think everyone else is dead. So now it's just like targeting everybody it sees, and you're talking like a dog that has a shotgun and it's like super fast. Like that's, to me, that would be terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Never gets tired, never takes a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to imagine anything worse that would be like world ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But like, what was that? This Is the End? Is that what that movie was called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
stupid.
during the, what is it when, what is that called when everybody goes up to heaven? What is that called? Like
Not the reckoning, but the
oh my god.
rapture
The rapture, yes. That's basically what that was.
Yeah.
Right?
and the sinkhole. God,
Yeah,
I
the
watched that one
sinkhole.
time and I was like, this is too weird. I hate it. Like, maybe if I watched it again, it'd be different, but
Yeah, it was kind of weird, I remember. It was weird because they all went by their real names in the movie too. Like they didn't change their names and stuff.
well, they were
Well,
all
that's a different
celebrities
movie.
still.
Yeah, This Is the End. That's the one I said by mistake. What's
Yeah.
the one that just came out a year or two ago where like the asteroid comes and like
Oh, Don't Look Up?
Don't Look Up. That's
Yeah.
what I meant to reference. I
Yeah.
forgot This Is the End. Yeah, I saw part of it. It was very confusing because it's like they're themselves in the movie, but it's a movie still. I didn't really grasp that one fully.
Yeah, I remember reading an interview from Emma Watson, how she felt very uncomfortable on set
Yeah.
filming that. I don't know. It was an interesting movie. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
But I think like a tsunami, earthquake, something that we're
all
just
of them.
yeah,
Any
something
of
where
them.
like what they keep saying California eventually, or San Francisco is eventually just gonna
They
break.
keep saying that.
I don't know. They've been saying that for decades,
Yeah.
but like they say eventually.
So
it's
that maybe yeah.
it's just
well,
gonna break off
Yeah.
and be its own thing, or not existent, or
right.
be
It'll just like sink into the
or be completely underwater
Mm-hmm.
in the next hundreds of years. Who knows?
yeah.
What else we got on our
We'll be dead by
list
then.
here?
All right. So the next one is okay. So you are home alone and you get a phone call from a deranged psychopath. What's your plan?
Scary.
I'd probably leave.
Yeah.
Just take everyone in the house and just start driving somewhere.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the house, it's one thing, but I don't know. I don't think it's that likely you could really get effectively attacked by a psychopath while you're like driving in a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to escape most situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like go to the police station.
Yeah.
Like, this is the number.
Right.
Please help me, I'm scared.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a lot easier now. Like now they have cell phones and you can just get up and leave and stuff like that. And then I don't know, like, do you guys keep weapons at home or anything? Like
Just these two guns.
and two yeah. I feel like
That's so bad.
I feel like dogs are a good deterrent. Good to at least let you know where
They're
they're
a
at.
good notification system.
Yeah, to at least
yeah.
let you know where they're at. If they're at the back door, guarantee the dogs are gonna be barking at the back
Oh,
door.
for sure.
Yeah.
So you know where they're at, so you know if they're at the front door, they're gonna let you know they're at the front door, so you know to go out the back, you know, or something like
Yeah.
that, or just
If there's anybody nearby, they're gonna let you know. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly. So I feel like dogs are really great for that,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
especially if you have more than one of them. I don't know. You always notice in a lot of those movies like Scream and stuff like that, nobody has a dog.
Because they would have known too soon what was gonna happen.
Yeah, no one has a dog and no one has a gun ever. Like.
For sure.
And that would like completely like help their situation no matter what. So I don't know. My plan would just be okay. What my dogs are doing? They'll probably tell me what's going on, where they're at, and stuff like that, and then just act accordingly.
Or,
They
like-
call the police.
Yeah.
Well, are they there or they're just calling?
You don't know.
Yeah.
You just get a call and say they're threatening you. You don't really know. Like they could be there. They could be just harassing you from who knows.
Or like, I like your shirt today.
And then
Well,
if like your dogs aren't barking, you're like, are they really good at sneaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Are they in my basement right now?
You know, my mom, when she was a teenager, got one of those phone calls.
Really?
Where somebody was telling her what she was wearing while she was on the phone.
Really?
Yeah,
Did she make a police report?
yeah. I don't really know. She just remembers, you know, she told her parents about it and stuff like that, and she was freaked out about it. I think they just chalked it up to someone at school that was, you know,
Yeah,
or
because
at-
there wasn't cell phones.
or it was like a neighbor
Yeah.
or something like that or something. But like, yeah, I remember my mom told me that, and she said that was kind of spooky. So she's like, even before Scream, that was like a thing that would happen. You
Yeah.
know?
It's gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah, and Scream is based off of a real story. I don't know how much of it is taken. It's like the Gainesville Ripper. I didn't read much about it, but it is based off a real story, so it could happen.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And you got copycats who be like, ooh, I want to do that same
Mhm.
thing.
Yes, the people that obsess over.
Copycats.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is just react to what your pets are doing, and then call the police, and then get out of there. Or, I don't know. It's really hard to. It's really weird to have a game plan of what to do in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calling the cops is not a bad idea either.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean, I know they might take them a little bit to get there and stuff like that, but it's better than not calling them and them never showing
If
up.
they even come.
Hmm.
Like, it's just a phone call. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, but I say if you call them and they do attack you, you put up a fight as long as you can, and hopefully they get there. Like, that's really your only hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one is, what would you rate a 0 out of 10?
Mint flavored anything.
I
Yeah.
love mint.
Not a fan of mint, huh?
No.
Not mint ice cream?
No.
Andy's chocolates.
No. Disgusting. It's like eating toothpaste. Here, let's eat a pile of toothpaste. Let's do that.
Candy canes.
No.
I would say any public toilet ever. 0 out of 10.
I don't know. Maybe at Walmart.
Those are the worst.
Those are the most disgusting.
Or like the car washes. The car wash bathrooms at like those gas stations in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, the gas station
Those
bathrooms.
are the worst. Like we stopped by one in Alabama, and they're like what is it? Their sign was like ripped in half, and it was like, "Please clean me," and it was ripped in half. So who knows how long that has been cleaned?
Now, if you're at a car wash, do you really have to use the bathroom or just use the car wash?
Ew.
I don't know. Man. Like we did that one time. I said we would never do that again. We're not stopping at it because we didn't
A
know.
gas
We
station,
didn't.
you go
Well,
to
we
the
didn't know the
bathroom?
bathroom was going to be in the car wash. We had no idea what that was going to be part of the gas station. We didn't know until we got in there, and the person behind the counter was like, "No, you have to go to where the car wash is." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And we walked in there. It looked like people had been living in there and just taking all kinds of, you know what, never flushing, never been cleaned. And
We
it's
tend to avoid like those kind of bathrooms.
yeah.
We're like, let's find a McDonald's. They didn't have okay bathrooms with those.
Yeah. Like for me, I would have to be like, it would have to be a serious emergency for me to even think about it. I'll just hold it.
I don't-
I'll become hospitalized if I have to. before I do that.
Well, you're not gonna pee or poop your pants?
I mean, could.
You eventually would.
Like, yeah. There's some people that have held it in so long that they end up going to the hospital.
Good for them. I could never. I would pee
Intestinal
my
blockage.
pants
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so fast. I would pee my pants. I peed behind a gas station the other day because I would pee so bad in their bathrooms were
I remember one time
out of service.
I think it was, I want to say, it was still during COVID. We didn't want to go anywhere, but it was Christmas 2020 time frame when they had it was all the rage now to like drive through all the synchronized like Christmas light stuff. We were doing something with that. And Carter and myself like, I gotta pee. So we just like pulled behind some Target and just peed behind the building.
Yeah.
We're not going inside.
Yeah.
If anyone has a ticket, they can. This is what's gonna happen.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like make it fast.
It's a
And then we're back in the
child.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've walked my son out to the woods before to handle business before, like, because we were out somewhere, like the bathrooms were locked. We were at a park. Bathrooms were locked. We didn't really want to go anywhere, so we just walked to the woods. I was like, walk back there, do your thing, and come back.
I've seen my kid take a crap on the edge of our woods. So I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I had to go so bad. He's like walking home from school and he just couldn't make it. He crapped.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I'm like, people can see over there. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Good times.
That reminds me of what is it? Me, Myself, and Irene. You guys ever seen that?
I didn't
movie?
watch
Oh,
it.
I have. I love that.
Funny.
Movie. It's so funny.
But I guess one of the Jim Carrey, one of his neighbors is like stealing his newspaper or something like that. So he just like, oh, you just go to the bathroom. Let's go over here. So he just grabs in his front yard and then walks away.
You know, I would give a 0 out of 10 is just the regular Oreos now. Once you go double stuffed, you can't go back.
But all the way to a 0?
Yeah.
Right.
No, but
So that you're
they're uneatable now. Like they're not. You don't enjoy them.
just
I
to
do.
draw a comparison, you're rating single stuffed Oreos to dirty gas station bathrooms.
Yeah, because I buy
As bad.
Yeah, because I keep buying them on accident. Like I buy them because I just assume.
So you would rather crap your pants in the car than eat a single stuffed Oreo.
I think I put it on the same level. Oh, I put it on the
That's
same.
pretty strong.
Put it on the
That's
same
pretty
level, but
strong.
like I bought accidentally bought some single regular Oreos, and I'm just like, they're not. I don't enjoy them. They're like double stuffed. When
You're
you're
still pretty good.
It's borderline psychotic.
I
Like
don't
you're
know.
comparing shitting your pants to eating a
single
single
stuff?
stuff.
No, I like the double stuff. I've been eating the double stuffed Oreos every time I buy Oreos, probably like for so many years, I don't even know. But like lately, I've been buying the regular ones on accident because I forgot they still sold those. I thought now it was just a regular thing. Everybody likes the double stuffed. Like I thought that was just a common thing that we were all on the same page about. Apparently not. And there's a lot of the stuff that like a lot of the regular flavored Oreos.
Some
Like,
of those flavors are
not regular, like the strange flavored
Yeah.
ones, like they come up with a different
They have some
flavor.
weird flavors.
Some of them are good. There was like some coffee ones, no good. I like the peanut butter ones.
Peanut
though.
butter, I've had those.
Those
Those
are
are
good.
so good.
I love the peanut butter ones because those are kind of like the Nutter Butters, but they're cheaper than Nutter Butters.
Are they?
Yeah, Nutter Butters are expensive. If you actually get actual Nutter Butters, they're like $5 something a package.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I never really buy those.
I don't go down that aisle.
yeah, they do have some Thin Mint Oreo or
Yay.
mint flavored Oreos. Holly likes those.
I would like them.
People that like mint probably would like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, they have what is it? The s'mores ones. Those are okay.
Yeah.
I think those are just half. Those are half peanut butter ones and half regular is what they are.
That's silly.
I'm pretty sure. But anyways, I don't know. I give those a 0 out of 10. The regular ones is a 0 out of 10. What do you give a 0 out of 10?
I don't know, man. It's pretty. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a good one.
You don't have a good one?
No.
I'm trying to think of like some like food wise. Like
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking of now. Yeah.
not like I give a 0 out of 10 to Pizza Hut just for the simple fact that they did away with all dine-in Pizza Huts. I feel like that was very kind of inconsiderate. There was a whole crowd out there that wants to go eat their pizza there while it's still
And the
fresh.
buffet, yeah.
When in the buffet, yeah, because they had a buffet and everything. It was just so much better. Like Pizza Hut delivered is just not the same.
Now there are a lot of dine-in pizza options.
Yeah. And I go with those.
You know, so you say you prefer a dine-in pizza? It is
Yeah.
fresher.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's like also a whole nostalgia thing to it too. Because I remember being a kid. I remember in the summers, like when I'd be in the pool all day, and my parents and my grandparents would be like, "All right, let's go get dressed. We're going to Pizza Hut." That as a kid, that was
You're
the
like, best day ever.
that was like the best. Yes.
Yeah, it looks just like the what's his real Daryl's real life name? Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
Like the same thing, like the red and white tablecloths and like the clear picture for soda and everything.
Yes.
Recorder video game.
Yeah, and I always appreciated when they opened it and they had that what is that white? What was that even for?
So the lid doesn't crush the cheese in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they always had that. I always thought that looked cool. Didn't know what it was for, but I always thought it
Tiny
was cool.
patio table.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are some good times.
Yeah.
But I miss Little Caesars delivering. Little Caesars used to deliver like
Did
a
they?
long time ago. Yeah.
I think they do again now.
Do they?
I thought I heard that somewhere.
Remember there was one in Venture a long time ago.
Yeah.
Venture, that's a long time ago, just by the sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their boxes were shaped different. They were more like rectangular back in the 90s. Like they were rectangular instead of square too, which
Yeah.
not a big deal. Anyways, I give Pizza Hut a 0 out of 10 now because I missed the dine-in option.
You seem really judgmental today, Ben.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
I think you really set an interesting curve when you started with like gas station, car wash, bathrooms.
Yeah.
Equally as bad as single stuff Oreos. Equally as bad as delivery of Pizza Hut.
Yeah, because I was saying like you could that same amount of time you're eating a regular Oreo, you could be spending eating a double stuff, which is so much
Yeah,
better.
that's true. What is next?
All right, so the next one is, what is the most anxiety-inducing thing in the world? Like, what gives you like?
Thinking about my kids' safety and
Yeah.
mental health. Like,
I know. That is one. Like,
He's going through something right now. I was just telling Benny his drama at school, and he did not want to go today, but he was like, okay, let's get it over with. And I'm just like, is he gonna be okay? Is he gonna be okay? My biggest fear in life is my child committing suicide. That's my biggest fear in life.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
He's a different kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
and not everyone accepts weird
And he's
people.
you said he's like pretty sensitive kind of
Yeah,
guy too.
he's a
Yeah.
soft dude. I wish he would just beat somebody up. I'm serious. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like 6'1", 250.
Yeah, he
He
can do
could
it.
beat almost anybody up, but he wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. Shove somebody, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not for violence, but
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you did just say to beat somebody up.
yeah, I know.
Right.
But like, establish your physical dominance. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, because you can use that as a way to have people leave you alone if you want. Like, I was gonna beat you up if you're not gonna leave me alone.
Right? Yeah.
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 What'd you think about like procrastinating? Yeah, it's usually
That gives me
that will
anxiety.
cause a lot of anxiety. If you're holding off there, now some people actually are better when they procrastinate.
That doesn't bother me at all.
They actually do better under pressure.
Yeah, I've
Nah.
gotten over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything gives me anxiety, and I have so bad anxiety.
Yeah, I've struggled with anxiety too. What about backseat drivers? People that are
Those
like
give me anxiety.
telling you like
No.
speed up, slow down, quit. Like no, that doesn't bother you at all.
No. I don't get much anxiety from stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Kid stuff, I worry about that. Similar-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a parent, think about that. Let's see what else. Yeah, like my biggest fear stuff, like losing somebody close to me,
Yeah.
was probably not all that unique
Mm-hmm.
amongst people.
Yeah, that's a good one. I can't think of anything that's more anxiety-inducing than anything that has to do with your kids when you're worrying about your kids and stuff. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that gives us anxiety, I feel like it's really not that big of a deal at the
It's
end of
not.
the end of the day. Someone cuts us off in traffic, we forget about it in 5 minutes.
That doesn't give me anxiety. I'm just like, God, you're a dick.
Or like, I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff is also I feel like it's mental too, you know.
Yeah, it's just not knowing what's gonna happen is what is anxiety producing.
Yeah.
Or like
Fear
what
of
do
what
they say?
might or might not happen.
Fear of the future, and depression is like something of the past.
Yeah, anxiety looks forward because you're worried of what might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like weddings can be like that, can be bad. If
I'm sure.
If you already struggle with anxiety,
High pressure situation.
Man, because you're trying to get everything right, you're trying to make sure you're not forgetting anything or you're not forgetting anybody as far as like giving thanks and acknowledging that they've been there, see them and stuff, and then the whole with the photographer and make sure you're dressed and you're looking good, and the food, make sure everybody had a plate that showed up.
Personally, I don't know that. I don't think that would give me anxiety because I've gotten over that crap. Like, I'm like, well, I have this and those things are the most important things.
Yeah.
Everything else is just whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Like even for going on like a road trip.
Yeah.
Like I have my phone, I have my credit cards, cash.
Yeah.
Bye.
When you're on a road trip or vacation, nothing should be bothering you. You ideally, in my way I think of it is, you should just be laid back and just enjoy it.
Like, it used to give me so much anxiety to think about, like, do I have everything? This and that. And I'm like, F it. I don't. It's no problem.
Yeah, I used to be like that, where pack stuff. I'm like, everywhere we go, we're gonna be near a Walmart. We're gonna be near a store. So if I forget something, I'm just gonna go.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Everywhere, everybody goes, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's true.
And like that destination is part of it, because some are like pretty forgiving. If it's like a Walmart or a Target, you can compensate for almost anything that you might forget. But if you're like in a different country and different stuff, like resort gift shops don't have lots of things.
Yeah.
Like I had to buy a pair of pants one time in Mexico. Like full on, we were at a resort, and some of the restaurants we didn't know ahead of time, you had to wear pants. I didn't pack any pants, so I had to buy like overpriced Miami Vice style pants. And actually we were there with another couple, and he also had no pants, so we got the same pair of pants that I did. So we became brothers in pants for like one
Brotherhood
night.
of
We had a picture of us
pants.
with the same pants on, and mine were way too big too, and they had a couple sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun thing when it happened though. So maybe it worked out okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of anything that's the most anxiety inducing other than the kid stuff. But like, I think those are all good examples.
Yeah. Kid stuff.
Yep. Okay, we ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one is people with their own pictures as wallpaper on their phones. Why? This person is just asking that. What do you think about people that use their own pictures for wallpapers on phones?
I don't think I've ever seen that in my life, but I would be like, you are conceited.
Conceited?
It is interesting that out of all the things you would choose to see all the time, it is yourself.
Yeah. I would think that too, yeah. Especially if I was like to walk in someone's house and there's like pictures of it up everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of weird. Mine just put mirrors up everywhere. Might as well.
Yeah.
Check yourself. I don't know. Do you think it applies the same, or like if you're in the picture, like holding your kid or something like that? Do you think that's the same?
It's totally different.
That's not a picture of yourself. Though.
Yeah, that's a picture. It's like a memory.
I think a lot of people have like that as some background on their phone.
Like a
family picture or something.
Right. I saw a comment where a teacher said she has a student that struggles with, I don't know what they had, but they had a picture of themselves on their desktop on the school Chromebook or something like that. She said every time she walked by, it looked like he was on a Zoom call.
I have heard of some people that, like if you have a certain goal, say like your weight fluctuates a lot or something, like you might have a skinnier version of yourself on there, like a reminder of motivation. I've heard of stuff like that.
You guys should do that.
Well, like, because you might remember like I liked how I felt when I was that way.
Yeah,
and maybe it helps motivate you. I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's good.
So I guess that's maybe one that might make more sense.
Yeah.
You need to go upload some photos.
What do you think about, do you think people that have like pictures of their twins, like and other people see that, you think people are misreading that? They're like, why do you have it's not them, it's a picture of their twin.
I don't know.
How often does that
Right,
happen?
what the
How
fuck?
often does that happen?
I don't know, but like.
That was my first thought. Like, what?
I'm sure it happens. You don't think?
No, I
Someone
don't
has a
think.
I don't think it does.
Maybe
I
if
think
it's
it
them
does.
together, but like not just like I don't have a picture of my sister on my thing. You
Yeah.
know,
No, there was
like,
probably someone that saw someone that had a picture of their twin on their phone. They're like, "Whoa, what a weirdo."
I would feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was their twin. They're not a weirdo. It was just
They are a
they had
weirdo.
they had a
They are
good
weirdo.
explanation.
Oh,
They are a weirdo.
That's my sibling. That doesn't
Or
make any
you know,
sense.
there's some, and then there's some people that look like their parents. You know, like it happens. Like if they're.
And what you're saying? If they have a what? What is the bed? What
I'm
is
just
it?
saying, maybe it's their mom.
At the same
Or
age
their
as you
kid.
though, like an old picture of your parent.
Or maybe, yeah, it could be
That's
like,
way more
it would be like, it was like the mom had a picture of like the daughter, but it looked like it was just them, but when they were at a younger age, you know?
I don't know. Look,
It-
next question.
It really seems like reaching for examples.
I don't know. All right, I thought that'd be a good discussion. Okay, all right. All right, move on. Okay, so now this is a shower thought. Okay, so this person says, it's always better to misread flirting as friendliness than friendliness as flirting.
Agree.
Agreed.
Except my whole life, I'm like, there's someone will be like, they were hitting on you, and I'm like, no, no, they weren't. They're like, yeah, they were.
Yeah,
You know, so I'm bad at it, but
right.
also opposite. Like if you're just being nice to someone
Mm-hmm.
and they think that you like them or are flirting with them, that's creepy. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Karen ends up with that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like for years, I've told her like, you realize every time like if I'm always getting like drinks or food for us or something, and I'll walk away and I'll come back. There's always some guy talking to you every time I come back. And she's like, oh, they're just being nice. I'm like, and it happened again the other day. And like I'm like, just think about this objectively.
Yeah.
What else do you think is happening when every time I come back there's always a guy talking to you
Right.
when I come back?
Some man approached you.
What other scenario makes sense here?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing today? I just wanted to come say hi.
Yeah.
Be nice. Absolutely not.
It reminds me. I think it's a really interesting movie. Like besides the comedy, but that She's Out of My League,
Yeah.
which is like the one scene like you think people are just always nice to you and open doors and buy drinks. That's how everyone gets treated all the time.
Right, right.
That's not reality for so many people.
Yeah.
I think about that scene a lot because I think a lot. It was a Reddit thread one time and it was fascinating because it was saying like people that if you look at people that are like super like classically attractive versus people that aren't, no one knows what it's like to be in the other group, and you never appreciate what you've always had.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to find people like say people that like lost or gained a bunch of weight. Like if you've ever kind of been in both worlds, like what did you notice was different?
Yeah.
You're talking like how much eye contact people make with you, like how friendly they are, like and all these things. And it was kind of interesting because most people don't know what it's like to be on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Brad Pitt doesn't know what it's like to be like really unattractive.
Yeah.
It's all you ever know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of an interesting discussion.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I think that's interesting. It's because you never know like what it's like to be on the other
Mhm.
side. And stuff
In
like
somebody else's shoes, yeah.
Because you always hear like this, thinking back to like my younger years, so to say, you always hear like these groups of women will go to some bar like we just want to dance, like we're so tired of guys always want to dance with us, and then you tell guys that you're like that sounds horrible. Oh no, like the other side of it is like I would never want to go to a bar and have women all want to dance with me and surround me the whole time. Like well, that sounds not so bad. For
Right.
someone that never has it, and people that always have it are like, I really don't want that.
Yeah.
And it's it's a strange thing. Like it's hard to feel sympathy for someone that has what you think you want.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought of it like that way, but it's true though.
Yeah.
But
What was the question again? I forget.
the question, it's just a shower thought. It's always better to
Oh, yes.
misread flirting as friendliness than friendliness as flirting.
Yeah.
I feel like dudes don't really ever know the difference.
I don't
really.
think so.
But to constantly misreading it, like
I feel like it's opposite.
You
really.
think guys can read it pretty well?
I
and
think
women
that
can?
when you're nice to a guy, they think that
Yeah,
you're attracted to them.
yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I think that's what he's saying.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Oh.
Guys have a hard time
We're
reading
constantly
what's what.
misreading. Like
Okay,
you could be
okay.
seriously flirting with me, and I'll be like, "No, you're just being friendly."
That's what
Or
I'm saying.
or you could be friendly or just being friendly and not attracted to me at all, but I'll be like, "I think she's into me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think she's into me. I think I got a
Yeah.
shot. I think I got a chance here. But I don't know, it just happens because like I don't know, like you know how many dudes I talk to that are like I think she likes me, but I don't really know. I don't want to just assume, so I'm just not gonna do anything.
That's everyone.
I know, but like, I don't know. It's just I just feel like dudes are just bad at hints. We do not get the hint, especially like if it is like any person that actually likes us, we don't ever really know.
And I think like, do you think, Amanda, that women, when it comes to like emotions / like feelings, are like just way better understanding and comprehending what's actually happening? I think so.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
'Cause I think so, because I'm always surprised, because in some ways like I'm pretty quick to figure out things, but there's things all the time with parents. You're like, oh, they're probably doing this because they said this and they thought this and they did this. It's like a domino chain of 8 things, and then she's normally right.
Yeah, you're like, that makes sense.
Yeah, like when you say it, it makes perfect sense. I never would have come to that conclusion on my own.
Yeah.
But when you say it, it all makes perfect sense.
That's true, yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it really is. I just feel like the whole flirting, not flirting, friendliness and stuff like that, at the end of the day, it's a guessing game.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like when you really like someone, I think that's the one thing too, is like when people do like someone and they do want to flirt, I feel like they're also afraid of making it too obvious.
Yeah.
So they kind of drop subtle flirts, not like just all of like aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. So it's just a guessing game.
That's why I'm glad I'm off the market. I don't think I can handle all
Yeah,
that.
it's hard from both sides.
Yeah, look, I'm like, I talk to people and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in a relationship. So that's so funny, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Sometimes you just think like, yeah, it's just confusing. And nobody really knows. No one has the right answers to any of this stuff.
For
It's
sure
just-
not, yeah.
It's just so, it's
Case by case.
really, it really is. Okay, so the next one, is the next great mind won't have enough Instagram followers to matter to people.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like, so,
Like, if you're a genius, you're probably already in college in 4th grade. That has nothing to do with, like, popularity.
Yeah, I think what they're getting at is people only want to follow, like, you know, like the YouTuber, TikTokers, models, and like comedians and people that just make funny content.
But do you think?
I think that's what they're getting at. I think it's like there's not enough appreciation out there for people that are great minds that are speaking and are smart. Like, there's not enough interest in that. Like, people don't necessarily care as much about them as far as like some like a Jake Paul or a Logan Paul, you know what I'm saying, they have like millions of followers. They have, you know what I'm saying, like they have just a bigger following. People care more about what they're doing, say, than like, I don't
It's
know.
almost like the whole celebrity culture.
Yeah.
There's all these real life things happening, and Will Smith smacks a guy.
That's
and then
yeah. It's so frustrating,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't like that comparison.
Yeah.
Because like Elon Musk, I'm sure he didn't grow up with Instagram and
Yeah.
all of that. He doesn't give a crap anyway. Look at him, he like has
Yeah.
a whole empire.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you say like Gary Vee? He looks like he's a great mind. He has a good following, right?
Yeah.
And
good
people
following.
know who he is, and
Mhm.
and he's very influential, and he speaks and gives advice all the time. That's pretty much his thing, right?
Yeah, and really, and his advice is always, it's very like non-judgmental, aimed at like trying to pursue happiness. You know, like, 'cause, and one of the things is so many people think like, oh, I need to, like, I'll be happy if I do this, or like, so like I need to do this for someone else, or I do this, like, or I need to make a bunch of money to be happy. You know, like if you make really little money and you're happy, you've already won the game. You've won the game if you're happy. But if you're not happy, consider making a change.
Yeah. And you would think people with a great mind, like Gary Vee, that means they know how to tap into any audience that they want.
Well, and
They know how to be relatable.
And the one thing I would say he does have, which is uncommon in men, is like, and he'll even say like, for some reason he's been gifted like really high emotional intelligence, just like when women are by and large way higher than men, but like he's way more in tune to like what actually happens. And oh, your dad probably did this. You're trying to do this to compensate for that, and it's a
Yeah, and like great minds, like I think it's probably pretty rare for them to be socially outward.
Mhm.
So that's a different thing with that. Like great minds can be behind the scenes all the time.
yeah.
Like there's
And
so
they
many
are,
of them.
Yeah, and they are. Like, I mean, you know how many people, they have PR people, writers, people
Mhm.
you don't see behind the scenes that are really doing all the legwork and are making whoever figure look better.
Like nurses and doctors.
Well, like for business people,
Yeah.
like he'll say too, like because people say, well, you have to have a big personal brand to run a business. And he's like, no. Like, do you know who runs Coca-Cola? Probably not. And they're
Right,
probably
yeah.
a hugely successful business person.
Yeah,
And like you don't have to do that at all. Some people like it.
yeah.
But there's like if you look at all the biggest companies in the world outside of like Amazon and Tesla, you probably don't know who actually is in charge or started them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, and followers, I feel like people just read into followers way too much. Or
Yeah.
they take that into account, like that's the ultimate grade of a person you are. Is how many Instagram followers you have.
Well, how it, like
That's just so kind of,
for people who are involved in social media.
yeah, I guess so, but like, it's just, that doesn't mean you're a failure. I
Yeah.
don't know. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean you're not gonna have an impact on society or humanity if you don't have enough followers. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just kind of silly.
I think it is too.
Mm-hmm.
Are we got time for one more? If there was one more.
Yeah, there is one more, and then this one is, adults don't buy nearly as much candy for themselves as their 9-year-old selves would have predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big time, because we would have no teeth.
The one I heard, which was not about that, but the comparison of like being a kid and what you think adulthood is like and what adulthood is like, and it's like when you're a kid you just want to stay up past 9 o'clock. And when you're an adult you just want to be in bed by 9 o'clock. You realize that's when you want to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get so much candy when I'm older. It's gonna be awesome.
Did whatever I want to do all the time.
Right, and I
Yeah.
do. I still buy candy, but I don't buy as much as I thought I would have at 9 years old.
Mhm.
You know, same thing with like anything, because like all that stuff, like it has an impact, like on your teeth, on your health, everything. Like you got diabetes, you got to worry about. It's the whole thing.
Well, I think that's fascinating. Like just a discussion of when you're a kid, what you think adults are actually like, what they're doing, and all that. Like you think that they have everything figured out and they know what to do all the time. Then you get there and you realize they were probably like you look back at it now, like I bet they were figuring out as best they could then too.
Yeah.
Like they probably made a lot of mistakes and
Right.
also just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
that's-
your life.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I've read, but that was one of the most common in shower thoughts is everyone's just pretending to know what they're doing or something like that. It's just, everyone's just trying to figure it out, but there's no one really actually has like an answer
Mhm.
on how to do anything. It's just, we're all trying to figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
That's so very true.
Being an adult is just, it's just that and a lot of paperwork. That's it.
Too much paperwork.
But yeah, I mean, I would say that's right, because I not just candy, but like video games,
All the stuff, yeah.
movies, all the stuff, all the clothes, but I don't know. Yeah, you grow up, you mature, and realize that that's not reality.
The other day I was telling the kids, it was something, I think Emma said something about like being a grown up, do whatever I want to do. I'm like, well, it's kind of true, but being a kid is easier than being a grown up because you don't have to take any responsibility for most of your actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to deal with whatever you do and what we do, we have to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's on me.
And you just like show up. I have food in the fridge, sure, eat something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once you have too much of something, you start to not like it anymore. You start to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Too much of, what is it? Too much of something can be a bad thing. Was it some phrase like that?
Yeah,
I can't think of the
I
phrase.
can't think of it either. But like, yeah, that's also another thing, because there's times where I go on like I buy Oreos, and then I get sick of Oreos. You
Mhm.
know, like you don't really think about that when you're a kid because you don't have that stuff as much. You don't have it enough to where you can get sick of it. You know.
Eat it till you get sick, and then you might not want to have it again for a while.
Yeah.
It's like drinking. When you have too much, you're like, I'm gonna take a break for a while.
My mom tried to do that to me with cigarettes.
Yeah.
She's like, you're gonna smoke a whole pack.
Did it work?
No.
Temporarily?
No.
No?
My stepdad was like, you're supposed to throw up. So he had a drink and he gave it to me. He goes, chug some of this, an alcoholic beverage. So I was like, bleh. And then so she thought I threw up from the cigarettes.
And now you drink beer too.
Yeah. Yeah, now I drink and smoke. Ah!
Joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
Well, that wraps up today's The Daily Crew. And if you take anything away from today's episode, Ben views gas station bathrooms and car wash bathrooms the same as single stuff Oreos. Let that sink in.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here
Borderline
first.
psychosis.
Sounds crazy when you say it out loud. Have a good one. See you next time.
Later.